Good day, y'all, and welcome to Cooking Keto Southern Style with Randy. Today we're going to make a delicious southern delicacy, fried catfish. You heard it right, fried catfish. So sit back and get ready to learn how you can take fried catfish and turn it keto. We're going to discuss what types of fats or oils to actually cook in. I've come up with a website that has the 7 best oils to cook with. I'm going to have a link down below in the description, so you can just click on that, read the full article of the health benefits for each one of these. It's a very long article, and I'm not going to list them all here. So number one is this is for frying or deep frying. So coconut oil, butter or ghee, and then you should use ghee for deep frying. That's number 3. Olive oil, avocado oil, macadamia nut oil, lard, which is pig fat, or tallow, which is beef fat. So most all of these have a very high smoke point above what you would want when you're deep frying. Back here on the stove, I already have a pot of what I'm going to use today heating up, so we can do the frying here in just a minute. I have chosen to use lard today, and the reason is it's more economical than the other 6 that I listed. I bought actually this 4-pound bucket. Oh, let's put it in English. Yesterday at Walmart for less than $7. I probably used about 1.5 pounds back here in my pot that y'all see in a few minutes that we're going to fry in. So this is much more economical. When you're looking at oils, you're really looking for the omega-3 oils and not the omega-6, and that's the reason those are listed. The oils that and also for lard, it contains oleic acid, which is the same thing that's in olive oil, and it's been shown to help lower the LDL cholesterol, which is your bad cholesterol. So also, it has a very neutral flavor profile, so it doesn't infuse back into the food cooking, and like with coconut oil or avocado oil or olive oil, you get the flavor of actually the oil with it. With the lard, it does not infuse its flavor in. So the types of oils that you would not want to actually cook with are sesame oil, red band oil, grapeseed oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, cottonseed oil, corn oil, canola oil, or soybean oil, which when I say all those are all listed in most every processed food that we buy. Potato chips, snack foods, it doesn't matter. Those oils are in there, and they're very high in omega-6, which one of the side effects leads to inflammation. So I've actually reduced those over the past 3.5-4 months out of my diet, and have seen great results in my actual inflammation and in my body. So I have felt a lot better. So right now we're fixing to get to cooking. So y'all stay with me, and we'll be over at the stove. In my pot on the stove, I've melted about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of the lard in a heavy bottom boiler sauce pot. This actually has copper on the outside, so it's a really good conductor of heat. So the first thing is to get your lard melted, and then we're going to actually go over and work on the coating. So now I'm going to fry 2 pieces of catfish, one in one coating and one in another, and we're going to do the recipe for the coatings. So the first thing you're going to need is actually a bowl of mustard. We're going to use this as the binder between the catfish and the coating to make it stick for frying. I learned this trick a long time ago. This substitutes the buttermilk or the egg or whatever you're using. You get no calories and no carbs out of mustard. So you can see I have two catfish fillets here on the plate. We're going to do one in one coating and the other in a second coating. So prior to starting, I actually ground a whole bag of pork skins. It was a 3-ounce bag. Basically, it's just down to a fine powder now. The oil that it was fried in does make it stick just a little bit. So on a plate, I'm going to actually take a 1/4 cup of the pork skins, and then in this bowl I have a 1/2 teaspoon of Old Bay spice and a 1/2 teaspoon of Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. So I'm going to add that to my pork skins, and we're going to get this mixed up. So now I'm going to set this to the side for a moment and go back to the actual catfish. We're going to just put a little pink Himalayan salt on the catfish before we dunk it down into the mustard. So this is just regular yellow mustard. I'm going to take the first piece and put it down in here and coat it up really well. And then I am going to shake off the excess, and we're going to lay it and put coating on it. And now we're going to take it over to the oil and fry it. So I brought my battered catfish over. We're going to slowly put it into the hot lard. And it is on about medium heat. It was about 360 degrees when I put it in there, and I know it'll drop. It may be just a little high, so let me back that off. So when we're frying food, as long as it's bubbling like this, that means the moisture is coming out of the food and it's not actually absorbing the oil or the grease back into it. So we want to watch it really close, and whenever this process actually starts to reduce the amount of bubbles coming out, we know the catfish is done, and we want to take it out to prevent absorbing a whole bunch of the grease. And I'm going to flip it over. So it's at a 336 right now, so that's a perfect temperature for frying. So it was just a little hot. We're going to let this finish. So one more turn. So the process has just about reached its end point. As you can see, the bubbles are still coming out, but the catfish is done. It's really floating well. I'm going to remove it, and we're going to set it over here to the side and let it drain while we go back over and do our second piece. So now we're going to actually make up the coating for our second piece of catfish. I've already salted it with the pink Himalayan salt. I have 1/4 cup of ground pork skins. I'm going to actually take, prior to getting the video started, I ground up some pecans. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of pecans in there, along with the same amount of Tony's, Satchery's Creole seasoning, and Old Bay spice. And we're going to just mix this up on the plate. And I'm hoping that we'll see what the pecan does, because I know pecan encrusted fish is really good. So I got that spread out. I'm going to take the fish and get the excess water off. And we're going to actually place it in the same bowl of yellow mustard. Get it good and coated and shake off the excess. We're going to lay it down, and then I'm going to flip it over. We're going to sprinkle some extra on it. Maybe one more flip. Okay. So now we're going to go over to the hot oil and actually fry the second piece. So we're back with our second piece at the oil. I'm going to actually ease it in. Let's see if I can get a little more crust on there. The oil's not quite as hot this time, and it should do a much better job. So we're going to let that come up, and then we'll have both pieces out here, and you can see what they look like. So it looks like our fish has about stopped pushing out moisture, so we're going to go ahead and take it out of the oil. Oh, it's definitely done. Let's see if I can get it out without it falling apart. We're going to put it down. It didn't. The batter did not stick as well as it did to the first piece. So here's our two pieces of catfish. The first one has the batter without the pecans. The second one has the batter with the pecans. It's about to fall apart. We're going to do a taste test on these in just one moment. So we're back to do the taste test on the catfish. The two pieces. This is the one without the pecans in it. I'm going to taste it first. It's also the coolest. Very good. Very, very good. And the nice thing about it is the batter on it added no carbs whatsoever to the catfish. So the pork skins really worked well. I'm going to try the second piece with the pecans now. It's still hot. The flavor profiles are like identical on each one of these. So try it either way you like, and let me know what you think. So if you try this recipe of the southern fried catfish with pork skin batter, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down right down here below the video, and subscribe to my channel so you get notifications of when my new videos come out. And if you've already subscribed, make sure you hit the bell so you get immediate notifications for the recipes. I am always accepting challenges, so if you have a southern recipe that you love and you're doing a ketogenic diet and are missing, I encourage you to let me know what it is down in the description, and I will come up with what I think will be one of the best recipes. Y'all have a good day.